Shazam.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the King's Castle Weekend Edition. King James along with Player Chopin. And we're going to switch gears for a second because it's time for a brand new segment on the show, the King's Top 5. Now, as we mentioned at the end of the last segment, John Cena is getting pretty close, in our opinion, to the end of his career, so therefore that might be a good excuse for the writers to have him turn heel. So that inspired me to call this top 5 list the top 5 babyfaces who we would probably like to see turn heel at some point in the near future. I gotta start right at the top of the heat. Someone who has been a heel in the past, but is now a babyface, who I would think make a better heel going forward. And that would be Randy Orton.
The Viper.
Yeah. Because, let's be honest, Randy Orton has proven he can work both sides. I mean, as one of the original members of Evolution, as a singles competitor.
He was also the founder of the idea of evolution.
Well,
he's been around so long that he worked side by side with Charles Darwin.
You think Randy Orton worked side by side with Charles Darwin?
He did. That's why some people still call it Ortonism instead of Darwinism.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
And number 2 would probably be Roman Reigns.
Yep, that's who I was thinking.
Because let's face it, the guy's a great babyface as a singles competitor.
That's very debatable.
But he's been screwed over time and time again.
That's debatable too.
And I think he needs to turn heel to revamp his character.
Okay, I'm going to counterpoint you on the first 2 things you said. Because the thing that he's a great babyface is so debatable. He was supposed to be the number 1 contender in early 2015 for the title. He got booed off from being that. Basically. They had to change that match because he was so bad at being a babyface. And getting screwed over, he's basically been handed a career by Vince McMahon and the establishment there. And really, the only reason that it's been kind of shortchanged now is because he's putting steroids in his butthole. So, I mean, if anyone's to blame for Roman Reigns' downfall, is Roman Reigns.
Are you sure about that?
He basically won the lottery, and now he's losing all of his assets, and you're like, oh, he's been handed a bad hand in life, Roman Reigns. But I agree with you that he would be better as a heel.
Right.
But the fact that he's been kind of screwed over is ridiculous. He's been handed it all on a silver platter. Just because he's The Rock's 18th cousin and his middle name's Jabroni. I don't know. But
well, there's no proof about the whole middle name thing. But
I know, it's a joke. Sorry.
But another person who I think would be a good heel would probably be Dolph Ziggler.
No.
I gotta say, his initial heel run when he was partnered up with Vicky Guerrero as his manager, that actually made sense.
How did it make sense?
Because even though it didn't last too long, it got him to the top. Even though his championship reigns haven't lasted too long, I think he's better suited to become a champion as a heel. Because, let's face it, both times he's been champion, he's been a heel. And now he's trying to become a champion as a babyface, and he keeps getting cheated out of the matches time and time again. So it makes sense to change his character again, and maybe give him a new manager.
I'm going to disagree with you on this one.
Why?
I just feel like they need to abandon ship on this one. Because they've been...
Well, you think they should fire Dolph?
Not fire him, but I mean, it's just like there's just a point, he's been wrestling for so long, and it just hasn't clicked with fans. I mean, it just hasn't. We can be honest about it.
Yeah, I mean,
He's not a title match guy. He's perfectly fine as a mid-card guy. But I mean, if you want to change his character to have him pursuing a title, I just, I disagree with it.
well,
I don't think he's that guy. That's like changing the Miz's character and saying, "Hey, the Miz is going to change and he's going to be our guy now." He's not a guy.
well,
He probably is an actual man, but he's not a guy that you have chasing a title.
and this one may surprise you. This one may surprise you. But another person I'd like to see turn heel is the current NXT Women's Champion, Asuka. And I'll tell you why. Yes, ever since coming to NXT, she has been undefeated. But I think in recent weeks we've seen her character become more and more confident. She thinks she can beat anybody on the roster given past or present. So therefore, whether it happens in NXT or it happens once she gets to the main roster, I think she would be a great heel because she's confident and she can back it up.
I agree with you. And she can have like a nasty personality too. Like there's a little bit of, for lack of a better term, savagery to her, in-ring antics. Like she's out there for blood, kind of.
Exactly.
And that's something you want in a heel. She just has a kind of very violent personality already. And she can wreak havoc.
And finally, to round out the top 5, I think a good heel would be Cesaro.
No.
You don't think so?
People love Cesaro.
Well, yeah, they love him, but to be honest, I think he had better success when he initially started as a heel because he had a great management partner in the Romanian Oksana, which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can always watch it back on the WWE Network. But anyway, he was like this country gentleman who would always gloat about how he could speak 5 different languages. And I think that persona combined with his in-ring ability made him a better character. Now he's become more of this Reach of the Stars babyface. And ultimately, I think it's going to come back to bite the writers in the butt because ultimately the fans are going to turn on him. Just in my opinion.
I don't know.
Because, let's be honest.
He's pretty well entrenched with the fans.
Let's be honest. In every promotion, whether it be WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, or whatever, there's always a select series of babyface you love, but there's always a series of heels that you love to hate.
That's true.
But the five people I've mentioned have spent time on both sides, so therefore, in my opinion, they're neutral as of right now. But I think they would be better as heels. That's what I'm saying. So, whether you would agree or disagree with my opinion, please let us know in the comments. But when we come back, it'll be time for me and Mr. Blair to give you our picks for what's hot for the week. So stay right there.
Good segment, King.